One thing we need to remember as Christians is to make sure our faith includes times of celebration. Yes, our faith should also include times of reflection, times of remembering that we're sinners, times that we fail. But if you forget celebration, it's going to hurt your faith. Celebration is an important biblical theme in both the Old Testament and the New Testament. In the Old Testament, God leads the children of Israel across the Red Sea, and before they go any further, in Exodus 15, they stop and they celebrate. 3 times a year, God wanted the Israelites to go to Jerusalem to celebrate, it says, celebrate a feast to Him. Stop your life, slow down, and celebrate what God has done. In Ezra chapter 6, the people of Israel are coming back to Jerusalem, and they finally rebuild the temple that had been destroyed 70 years earlier. They stop, and Ezra chapter 6, verse 16 says that they celebrated with joy the dedication of the house of the Lord. The New Testament has the same thing. In Luke chapter 15, Jesus tells the story of the prodigal son. When the prodigal son comes home, you remember what they do. They celebrate a feast. And the father says, we had to celebrate because this son was lost and was found. Before we go any further, we need to celebrate. Acts chapter 8, another one. The Ethiopian eunuch becomes a Christian and he goes on his way rejoicing. Notice in those examples, God had done great things and they paused before they went forward to say, God, thank you. I'm going to celebrate the good things you're doing in my life. If I forget to celebrate the good things in my life, it can hold me back. How does that happen? Well, you see it in people like Moses. God comes to Moses at the burning bush and says, I want you to go back to Pharaoh. Remember what Moses says? God, you've got the wrong person. I'm not good enough for this. I can't speak well. No one's going to listen to me. It's holding him back from serving God because he can only see his shortcomings. Gideon was the same way in Judges chapter 6. The angel comes to him and says, Gideon, you're going to lead the people to be free from their enemies. He says, my family's the least in all of Manasseh, and I'm the youngest in my father's household. All he could see was his shortcomings. We know we're sinners. We know we fail. We know we want to be better. But if we can only see where we fall short, we're going to miss something. That's where we need times of celebration. God has done good things in your life if you're a Christian. You had a moment where you decided, I'm giving my life to the Lord. You were baptized into Christ, had your sins washed away. That's worth celebrating. You probably had battles with sin along the way, but the ones you win, celebrate those. The times you serve God and do well, celebrate those things. Don't be prideful. Don't overdo humility to the point that you can't stop and say, God, thank you for the good you've done in my life. As Paul said in Philippians 4, verse 4, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Make sure you keep celebration as part of your faith. If you're in the Memphis area, we'd love to have you worship with us at the Great Oaks Church of Christ. We're trying to just be Christians. We're trying to help each other follow Jesus Christ. We'd love for you to be part of that. Hope to see you soon.